I'm gonna find some music. What do we want to listen to today? Free lo-fi. I like this. Gotta turn it down a little bit, but I like it. I'm gonna have to turn on off the in-game audio. And so what I'm gonna do is screen share the map and like go over the things I've discovered. And then I'm gonna go through all the stats and their buffs. And I'm gonna go through all the tech tree and what they can make. I'm gonna go through each individual recipe because that's valuable in my opinion. I might find somewhere that's not loud. Turn off game music. We're actually gonna turn those off in general. Do it like an ASMR, huh? Not that I can't cut the sound out later anyways. Okay, we'll start with the map. Hide this for a minute. Okay, we want the beds off. So we'll start northwest, and I don't have it all unlocked, so you have to forgive me on that. Hans camp. Can I? What are these fucking markers? Can't. Hans camp. River Bandits camp. Yellow Turban Rebellion camp. Vagrant camp. Hunter camp. Bandit camp. I'm gonna go over the minerals so you know what they are. Copper, iron, coal, black iron, saltpeter, jade, meteoric iron, black iron. The large strongholds are located in the city. The yellow turban one is right here. I think the vagrants have a large city right here, but I didn't spend very long in the the swamp to discover it. It's the Hunter's Camp. It's a big city. I think the Bandits' Camp is actually this one. And this is a cave you can go all the way into, and there's something at the end. Don't know what. The Hans Camp is like right here. And the River Bandits Camp is right here, all along this area. Next thing, I'm going to show just the map with the collection points. I don't have them all discovered, so you'll have to humor me. Collection points can range from level 1 to level 3. They're things like granaries, mines, and then like forestry. There's probably additional collection points here and here. There's not an insane number of them though. Next I'm going to do farms. Again, I don't have all the farms discovered, so these are going to be low-level farms, usually dry. That means you have to get water from another source to water them. And the reason I'm hovering over them is to get the coordinates. These farms down here are wet farms. This farm here was the best farm I found. It was a nutrient-rich wet farm. These farms up here are called arid farms. They're specific for growing desert onions. I think this is actually just a normal farm though, this one. It's far enough into the area. So the way the biomes work is this is like northern forest area. This area. It's Han territory. This is like Great Plains territory. There's trees, but not nearly as many. It's River Bandit territory. This down here is jungle. Yellow Turban area. This small area, which is very dangerous, is the Vagrant area. It's swamp. Hunters are in this cold area. This is also high tier area. This I think is closer to like hilly, foresty, similar to the northeast, but not quite the same. And this area up here is the desert. And the bandits are in this area. Deserts have a status effect for heat. The longer you're there, your heat resistance goes down. And when it hits 0, you start taking damage. You could take porridge to mitigate that. The cold has a similar effect, but it uses your cold resistance. When it gets to 0, you start taking damage and go down until you drop. I believe you can have, give me 1 second, I'll tell you what it is. You can take wine for that. And the swamp is the third area that has a status effect. It's called miasma. It's like disease or malaria, and you can take medicine to reduce that. Wild animals. You see deer and boar and foxes and sometimes wolves in plains areas. Basically everywhere on the eastern side follows the same sort of animals. Now, deer, boar, horses, rabbits, foxes, they're found everywhere. But especially the foxes, the wolves, the deer, and the pigs have different skins in different areas. There's also some specialty animals like the gators found exclusively in the swampland. The rhinos and the elephants are found in this area specifically. I think you can also find elephants deep in this jungle in this area. Another rhino. And elephants are found in the desert as well. Throughout all of this, there's also bears in certain areas. There's large cats, so you'll see tigers or leopards or lynxes in the different areas. So if you hear them, you're probably dead. I think that's the main bit for the maps. Next, I'm going to go over your inventory. Bad translation. Consumables, equip, weapons, ammo, buildings, materials, search. Trade goods do not get filtered by these. So if you're looking for trade goods, you either have to search it directly, which your little search bar is up here, or you have to do the whole thing in Trek. It's the same thing down here: consumables, equipment, weapons, ammo, building, materials, and search. That filters your inventory. There's a drop button, which makes you select a specific item to drop it, and there's a drop all button. There's a transfer all button that when you're in an inventory, it'll take everything in your inventory and put it in the items inventory. I've somehow lost my one rock. So if I were to look in here, this transfer all button, if I click this, it puts everything in my inventory in either the crafting table's inventory or the storage box's inventory. There's also a sort button. In crafting stables, there's a sort and transfer button as well. I need something with items in it to show you. Here, we'll take these. So I could sort this, and it'll sort it usually by grouped types. See the filtering mechanic? And I can transfer it all back. So that's your main inventory management. R is transfer all items, it's a hotkey. O is drop a specific item. A is to craft all. So if I had more than the inventory to make one, I could click on this where it has the red bar and click A. E is to use something, so that would be like food. And shortcut, I believe, is your hotbar, but I don't know. Over here you have your toxicity. I have very high toxicity because I've died a lot doing exploration. Toxicity is determined by the amount of damage the player takes. The more damage you take, the more sensitive to toxicity. Eating rice can restore toxicity. So this is HP toxicity, so the higher this is, the more it actually reduces my health bar up here. This is a different type of toxicity. Toxicity is determined by the number of the player's die, so how many times you've died. The more times you die, the more severe the toxicity. Eating meat can restore toxicity. I believe this is very basic eating meat because the meat paste does not seem to work. This third type, toxicity, is determined by the amount of medicine and raw foods the player takes. The more you eat, the more severe the toxicity. Eating noodles can restore toxicity. So you can see that there's a decrease based on how much you've done these things. I've died a lot, so I would need a lot of meat to reduce my overall, or reduce this toxicity back down to 0. And on my health bar, you can see this is the reduction for the stamina toxicity based on how many times I've died. This is my health bar, this is my stamina bar, this is my hunger bar. It shows my level, my ping, I don't know what that is, don't know what that is, or any of the other things. I have a notification up here to hit Control R. This is things like where my horse is, about to starve, your building is broken, my renown level increased to rank up, warrior Fred is about to starve, your building is broken, so I believe we've been raided a couple times. You can see the quest details over here. If I click L, it does nothing. And down here, it says Control H. It lets me see hotkeys. In the lower left-hand corner is the chat bar, so I can see effects. So if I've taken damage, this is like local chats, system information, and this is combat logs. I think this might be local. You can change it to county, guild, or nearby. If I press H, I can talk out loud, and that's an in-game chat feature. I have 10 hotbar keys, and I believe I can switch through 3 different layouts. I believe this actually counts as inventory slots, but this is not limited by the number of slots. This is my level XP bar, so it displays the level and then how much XP I have, or out of how much I need to go up. If I scroll over it, I see that the current server level is 40. After reaching character level 20, your character will get XP rewards so long as your level is lower than the server level, but you'll get XP penalties if your level is higher than the server level. Current earned XP reward is 20% because I'm lower than the 40 that is the server level. These penalties can be very, very severe if you're above, and they can be really high if you're below. And this is to help keep people at relatively equal levels. HP. When your HP reaches 0, you will fall down. You can be rescued by others. Weight bearing. Weight limit of items carried. Movement speed starts to fall as the limit's exceeded. You can get to about 250 points before you can't move. Fullness, this is my hunger bar. As fullness falls, so does HQ recovery effects. You start to lose HP when fullness is 0. Speed varies across different weapon types. I believe this is not weapon types, but actually armor types. Stamina. When 0, you will become fatigued. Stop and rest to recover stamina. Very similar to most stamina effects. You can still move, but it'll reduce speed. Heat protection. Heat stamina. Your heat stamina point is 0 and is in a hot area. You will enter a hot state. Take Purge. It doesn't tell you the hot state will kill you, but it will. When miasma stamina is 0 in a hot area, they're not talking about hot, they're talking about diseased. You will enter a miasmic state. Take medicine to resist the miasma. Cold stamina. Cold stamina, you enter a cold state. Take wine to reduce the cold or resist the cold. All 3 of these, when they hit 0, if you're in an area that's dangerous, can kill you. It says malaria protection. This should probably just be disease resistance, heat resistance, and cold resistance. That covers this. You can actually see that pink has worked up in here, and there's the 3 lines. I think that's cool. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but this is my stats. So you can see the 5 different skill stats and then the skills in each of them. So there's 5 total. This is a quick overview of stats. So this is strength. So one-handed, shield, two-handed, polearm, and heavy armor. Up here, this takes an average of all of them, and it says I have 15 strength. If I increase any of those 5 skills, it will eventually increase my overall strength. My strength is currently 15, and I increase my melee attack power by 70.9%. The higher all of those stats are, the higher my overall strength. So if you want to be a good warrior, you have to raise all 5 of these, not just one. And it can go, you see 15, and it goes all the way out to here. The next one is agility. It's throw, archery, crossbow, riding, and light armor. Again, it's the same thing. Increase your character's ranged attack power by 7.1% because my agility is 14. This is physique. It's really funny. I don't actually know how these top ones level. I think this is a misnomer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on, there's something weird. Oh. This is a strange one that it has an actual skill named after it. But this is a skill in and of itself in the physique category. Again, so this one would be my level 28. Max character HP is increased by 6.5%. Character damage resistance is increased by 5.3%. Wisdom, craft, siege, build, armor crafting, and medicine. See, my wisdom is 24. Increased damage with siege weapons. So that would be like a catapult, a trebuchet, a ram. And the last one is charisma, which is command, drill, recruit, tame, and renowned. You can see charisma is 15. Damage of a character's warrior is increased by 1.08%. HP of a character's warrior is increased by 0.5. Damage resistance of a character warrior is increased by 0.9. I have 15 in this. I don't have particularly high skills here. And the last tab here would show all of the different stats of the items I had equipped. So if we go over here and think about why I can't turn to the left, that's very strange. We're going to borrow this and put it on. This is your helmet piece, your armor, your feet, and your flag. Okay, now I can turn left. Okay. So if we click here, we can see that my armor stats, slash armor, piercing armor, heat resistance, miasma resistance, blunt armor, siege defense, and cold resistance. These are all being inherited from this. I can also see it by hovering over here. I do not believe those are in the same order. Nor do those actually even look like the same stats. So this one's saying 240, and slash armor there is 153. So I think there's something strange going on there, because that says 122 in blunt, and the other one says 197. So I think this is an error in calculation, or something else is being taken into effect here. Could be the crafting bonus or its durability. I'm not really sure. That was the inventory overview. This button toggles close effects, so that would be like if you have bleed on or off. I have no idea what this is. Trans change underwear. I think maybe this is an area for skins. This is my copper down here. Put this back on. This is the skills and talents section. It's broken up into the 5 talents, I guess. So we'll go over strength first. In each of these individual skills, you have your XP bar and you have your proficiency. This is based on the proficiency points you've put in. You can see your expertise points over here. I currently have none. I can remove them. You get a certain number of free removals a week, and then they cost money. And I can put them in if I have one available. This allows, I have no idea what this does. Public proficiency, skill level 90, insufficient public proficiency. I have proficiency 0, talent 0.1. Both of these are kind of unclear what they do. And expertise 0. This is my overall skill level. This is my proficiency multiplier. So this is dependent on how many points I have it. And you can see if I have 5 points, it's 6. 3 is 2.93, 1 or none is 1. So overall the 5 points in is better. I'll take these down so we can actually get, it's 2.5 for 2, 1.43 for 1, and 4.19 for 4. Put that back in. Right here is the descriptions of what the skill does. Increase, so for one-handed, increase one-handed weapon damage by 11%. That's based on my level currently. Talent description, increase one-handed weapons and attack power. Proficiency, 7 out of 9. So this is actually my skill level. So I need 3 more experience points to go up to the next level. And then this will reset to however many experience points I have out of the max for that level. And see, I'm at 90, that's not a very high level. And then experience type, this is how you get experience, attack and block with one-handed weapons. So then I'm going to go over all of the bonuses from this. One-handed blade expertise. These are unlocked by how high your skill level is. So when I hit 150, I'd be able to unlock these 3. 250 at this one. You get to level 450 and you can no longer level until you purchase the next section, which goes to 600. When you get to 600, you can purchase up to 750 and then up to 900. Each of these is progressively more expensive and you have to purchase from a camp. So the river bandits, the hunters, one of the yellow camps I showed earlier. Shield, reduce shield durability loss by 1%. Again, I have a very low skill in this. Reduced durability decay of shields. You can see because it's such a low level, I only need 2 points in this to level up. And then it would reset. And you gain experience by blocking attacks with the shield. Buffs. Two-handed. Increase two-handed weapons damage by 2%. Again, very low level. Increase two-handed attacks weapon power. Proficiency 1 of 4. This is again my experience. An XP type, attack and block with two-handed weapons. Buffs. Again, you have the skill gating you have to take to 450, level it, then to 600, level it, 750, level it, and then to 900. Pole arms, I have a higher level experience in this. You gain it by attacking with pole arms and it increases the damage. Buffs. This is what they look like when the buffs are unlocked. This one is specifically used either on a horseback or to stop horseback. It's good at fighting NPCs as long as they don't get up on top of you. The one-handed weapon is extremely fast. The two-handed weapons are higher damage but a little slower. Heavy armor. Increase heavy armor protection, increase heavy armor's defense, and proficiency, which is the experience bar. Suffer attacks or stamina loss when wearing heavy armor. So basically you can run around in heavy armor and level this. So what it looks like when you can unlock it. All you have to do is click on it and it unlocks. I don't believe it goes against anything. Once you're past it, you can have it. Buffs. Let you run faster, take less durability loss, things like that. So that's all of the strength ones. We go on to agility. Throw, this is use throwing weapons to attack, and the buffs. I understand I'm going a little bit quick, but I'm recording this, so you should be able to watch the review and pause. That's thrown. Bow, which is different than crossbow. Use your bow to attack. You don't actually have to hit anything to level this. You just have to shoot. Buffs. Crossbow, this is different than bow. Again, you just have to shoot with the crossbow. Buffs. That's my dogs. Riding. Ride horses. It's very easy to level even with no expertise. You can AFK on a mount. And the buffs. You can use most weapons from horseback, the exception being most crossbows you can't. I believe you can't use two-handeds except for polearms either. But polearms are not two-handed weapons in this game. And light armor. Suffer attacks or stamina loss when wearing light armor. Again, you can just AFK run with this on. Buffs. That's all of the agility skills. Physique, under effective attack, taking heavy goods, conducting stamina costing actions, or planting, hunting, lumbering, or mining. So this is leveled by a lot of different things, basically just anytime you do work. And this indicates your HP. The buffs. This also indicates how much you can carry. There's the second one that would increase your level of carrying. That's the third one, I believe. Nope, it's only 2 that increase your carry capacity. They want you to use horses and carts for that usually. Mining, this is literally collecting ore. Buffs. Mining. Wood cutting is cutting trees and gathering plant fiber. The buffs. Wood cutting and gathering plant fiber is one of the fastest ways to level in this current build. Hunting. Increase damage against wild animals, increase animal product acquiring efficiency. Attack animals and collect meat from them. That's a pretty simple one too. And the buffs. And the last one, planting. This is farming. So you plant, fertilize, harvest, and crop. Mostly you gain your XP by plowing fields. And the buffs. When farming, you have to be kind of careful. You don't want to let your things sit too long or run out of water or fertilizer because it'll ruin your harvest. And you won't get any seeds back and you'll get very little crop harvest. That's the last one for physique. Next one is wisdom. Crafting, so this is making weapons, crafting, and repair. This also, most things you make that are not food or medicine or armor or building things will fall in here. Buffs. It also increases how fast you craft and the durability of the items you did craft, which is quite useful. Next one is siege. Increase siege weapon damage, increase siege weapon crafting efficiency. And you upgrade this by using siege weapons. The buffs. next one is building. This is increase the durability of the buildings crafted by 36% based on the skill level, and increase crafting and building. So this is very, very useful when making bases. If you have a high skill level, it means that your bases will be more durable. Basically build and place the buildings, so craft those pieces in the building table. Buffs. The next one is armor crafting. It is a separate crafting skill from craft. And basically, it increases the durability of the armor. Also very important because things break very quickly. You basically craft and repair. It says weapons, but it means armor. The buffs. And this is both light and heavy armor. The last one in wisdom is medicine. So this is food and medicine crafting. Increases the chance of getting additional ones when you do it, and increases the efficiency. Increase medicine crafting efficiency, so how fast it crafts. The buffs. You can actually level this one really easily as well by being the thrall on a mill when you're grinding up your farmed products. These effects are very useful because they increase how effective wine and medicine and food is for you as a user. So people think it's just how quickly you make it. No, it's how much it's useful to you as a user. Alright, so the next one in the last skill tree is charisma. This is in regards to taming animals and thralls. So the first one is command. Increase the warrior's HP limit, and you lead the warriors in battle. So basically you have them following you when you do this. The buffs. Warriors, when you train them and you capture really good ones, are very, very useful in fights. Drills increase the speed at which a warrior XP is acquired. Lead warriors to acquire XP. I believe this level's very similar to command. I'm not quite sure how I have this, other than maybe I had a thrall follow me for a little while. I think the thralls have to fight for this one. This one is just they have to be around. And the skills, this reduces the cost of having thralls, so they eat a lot of food. You have to pay them. They have loyalty. Recruit, increase obedience, obtain yield. When recruiting warriors can get the skill proficiency. The higher the dealt damage to the warrior, the higher recruited proficiency. So when you tame a warrior aggressively, you put them on a punishment rack and you beat them. And that's how this levels. And the buffs. Some of these buffs let you see the skills of the warriors before you tame them, like Perceptive Eye. So some warriors have things like rage or weakness, weak spots, or they have both buffs and debuffs. So being able to see what they have before you tame them is very useful. Tame is actually taming horses, not people. So this is when you're breaking a horse, this goes up. The buffs. When your animals die, and same thing with thralls, they don't actually die. They can be revived at certain stations. but they can only be revived a certain number of times. You can actually breed horses as well. The last one, Renowned. Increase acquired renown points by 17%. Join battlefield activities, purchase seller commodities. So you get these by killing big bosses and doing battlefield events and the buffs. This affects your nobility, which gives you overall buffs. That's all of the skill and talent tree stuff here. The next one is crafting recipes. This one's going to be a little bit sorry. Yeah, I'll look at it as soon as I'm done recording this. Quick. Just point in time recording all of the recipes and the names for stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a long video, but I know I've used things like this for Last Oasis. I've already done all the skills and the buffs. Have a nice night. Sleep well. Unfortunately, these don't have labels, so you can't quite tell. I think this is basic crafting. This is building pieces. Start all the way over here again. This is weapons. Again, some of these are a little hard to tell because you have to do multiple steps on the crafting. Sorry that one seems this line is a little hard to read because of how it does that. This one as well. this lower tree here, you actually have to unlock the blueprint by killing the bosses that drop the recipes. You need 3 of the recipe fragments to be able to unlock these armors. It appears that all 3 pieces of the recipes utilize the same ingredient costs. And unfortunately at this level with these, because they have to be quenched, you can't see the stats by looking at them in the tree. You have to actually make them, because you're not making the ingredient, you are making like the blueprint to make the ingredient. Mm. Mm-hmm. So I believe this recipe points, learning to make recipes will consume your recipe points. Although you will get a certain number of points each time you upgrade, please allocate them responsibly. It might have just been for the beta, but we never ran into any issues where you couldn't unlock something. I don't think this button does anything. Search, you can search stuff, and it highlights like that. I'm gonna skip this because I don't know anything about this. Quests, basically you get 5 daily quests every day. You can do up to 5. It's not, even though it gives you 25, contributes towards weekly progress. You can see I don't do them. Increase prestige, I'm not really sure how you get it. You do get rewards for each of these quests. Merit, guild activity, experience. You should do these. They're a really good way to gain XP. And then you get your guide quests. So these are side quests teaching you how to do things in the game. You can follow these quests and actually you can do pretty well on learning how the game works. It's a very good guide system. This is called the Subordinates table. You can see the subordinates that you own. It's a very similar inventory to your own. They follow your same stats. You can enhance these. Basically, when you have them training, you can choose what they're good at. So for him, he's a pretty low level. I might want to enhance his crafting in general or his medicine. So this is how much public proficiency he earned, basically being on a training dummy. I can apply that to here. They don't have proficiency points in the same way, but they do have these skills. But because all of their stuff is so low, their levels are going to be very low. He's a very, very low level NPC because I acquired him by buying him. You can acquire NPCs in more than one way, either by passively paying for them to come work for you, or by knocking them out and training them. Ones you knock out and train are better. You can see he's actually starved because I don't really use him and I wasn't playing with him. I can dismiss him, which gets rid of him, or kill him, which does the same thing. Not sure why there's 2 buttons. Dismiss, he vanishes. Kill, he drops dead. Warrior limit level 20 because my skill is very low in training. You can get this all the way up to 60. I can recruit up to 5 and have 1 in combat with me. So that means they'll follow me around and fight with me. Most of the other ones are going to be either in the storage facility or on a crafting station, because you can train them in the same way you do yourself. They have stats. these are not unlocked because his armor isn't high enough, but they would be if he had those skills high enough. Currently, he's a crossbowed version, and he has a weak point. He has strong legs. Arts, this is a whole different... a whole different kettle of fish. You get these by completing quests. You'll get little like pieces of paper that'll say one of the art bonuses you get, and you can consume them and they'll increase your art. Some people have said that these only apply to your NPCs, but I'm not really sure. You can see that there's a lot of them, and this is just in one type. Humor me as I go through these. You can see some of these are not translated yet. You can see some of these do say you can level up this warrior skill. So these might be actual warrior skills. These are permanent buffs. They last for as long as you have your character. Very exciting. Whole different. I don't know the difference between tactics, fury, and fortitude. These ones look like negatives. Reduce a warrior's XP acquired. Don't know why you would want these. Aching, suffering extra. I don't know. These seem bad. These seem bad to me. That's arts. Next one's achievements. See the overall increased buffs. Change your titles. You earn these by doing achievements. We look in survival. Collect grass. Collected so much grass. You get renown points for gathering. I think that's kind of cool. collect land essence, which I think is ore. It's basically for your gatherers to see how much they've collected over the course of the game. You do get renowned for them, which is kind of cool. Animal parts. Those shiny ones are indicating that I haven't seen it since the last time I was in here. Tame 200 horses. You can tell some people do this. That's kind of cool. You can pass leadership around pretty easily. Fall to your death. Yes, I've died more than 20 times. Mostly just from like heat exhaustion and things like that. These appear to be not lined up correctly, which I think will be fixed, but I think it's just because a lot of the NPC names are very, very long. If Arctic, maybe? I think you just get these for leveling up your stuff. Again, these are the achievements tab. Apparently I haven't killed anyone. I thought I had killed at least one person, but the answer is no. These are all versus players, I believe. That's the achievements. Events. This is where you would see a county battle. This is what we did really early on. So we fought for CSTG for control of the county. Prefecture, I believe this hasn't been implemented yet, but you would fight all the counties in your prefecture for leadership of the prefecture. I don't know what these are. Next is Nobility. This is where you get buffs based on how much renowned you have. I believe I have a corruption. One moment. sorry. Apparently I had that muted. Each of these is a server grouping. Asia, Europe, NA. And in the server grouping you can see the counties, which are either PvE or PvP. These are like states. And when the game is fully released, each of these, there'll be many of them, probably multiple server groupings. This does not have any translation yet. Minimap, this is your local server. All the minimaps are the same. Next one is a log. It's just a guild log, or personal and a guild log. Events, so this is the relationship status with all the NPC factions. So the animals, how many you kill, will raise your hostility. When it hits 10, somebody in the guild gets a purge. I don't know why it's called Shan Yu, because it's animals. This is, I think, the Vagrants, River Bandits, Rebels, Yellow Turbans, Bandits, and the Shan Yu, which I believe are the Han? I think. So as these go up, you'll get a purge. One person in the guild will randomly be chosen when it hits the cap. Mail, you can mail people, I believe, or it might be from the server because there's no way to write mail. And then ranking. This ranking is an indication of the highest ranked players on the server. And I don't know what this is based on, if this is based on activity or what. And the top 10 get this guaranteed slot in the server when it's full. So I don't know if it bumps somebody out or it reserves those slots. I'm not sure. I'm currently 34 out of a couple hundred. I'm not sure how useful this is at demonstrating anything. I don't know what the previous list. I don't know. Can I claim that? I don't know how often it refreshes. It says the duration 9:30, 10:30. This one was 8:30 to 9:30. I apparently was number 1 before, but I guess you redeem those to force your way into the server. And that's the UI system as it stands right now. I am gonna stop the stream and restart it because I'm actually gonna go do stuff now.